Hello and a very warm welcome to the latest edition of Talking Germany, the show where we do just that. And my guest today is an outstanding figure from the world of music. He started out back in the 1950s as a self-taught drummer, but he later went on to become a celebrated operatic tenor. In fact, what they call a Heldentenor, someone who has the deep and dramatic kind of voice that enables you to sing some of the most famous and demanding and leading parts in the operas of Richard Wagner. And so here he is in person, René Kollo. Thank you very much for joining us today on Talking Germany. Yeah. A great, great pleasure for me.
Thank you.
Now, as well as singing on stages around the world, René Kollo has performed to great acclaim at Bayreuth. That's the home, of course, of Wagner's music. And he can look back on a recording career that's included collaborations with the likes of Georg Scholti, Herbert von Karajan, Leonard Bernstein and Daniel Barenboim. And I think we can very much look forward to hearing what he has to say about the following topics. A life in music. René Kollo has been on the stage for over 5 decades, and his performances of some of Wagner's great dramatic roles are the stuff of legend. Operatic Temple. Each year, the Bayreuth Festival celebrates the cult of Wagner. René Kollo, who was centre stage for nearly a decade, tells us about the myth of Bayreuth. And palatial polemic. Plans to rebuild Berlin's former Hohenzollern Palace are currently on course for completion in 2019. Our guest welcomes the project. Many others don't. René Kollo, thank you once again for joining us. I'd like to begin right at the beginning with your first principles. Tell me, from your perspective, what it is about opera that so fascinates you, what it is that you love about opera.
The most of what I love is Wagner, you know? Yes, I must say. I love Puccini, I love Verdi, especially in the last things what he wrote, Otello and these things. But Wagner is a very different thing. Wagner is a philosophic kind of world's problems of love and hate and all these things. That makes it worldwide and not specially for one country or so. It's not German, it's all, you know. And the music is so unbelievable until now. It's fresh. For me, it's fresh from the first day to now. And I'm now not so young anymore. But the music is still fascinating and wonderful, poetic and beautiful.
That's very evocative. It's very nice to listen to you talking about Wagner like that. We will talk a little bit more about Wagner, about Bayreuth, all these themes shortly. You've just mentioned that you have had a long career in music, yeah? Do you think that you have, in some ways, because your career goes right back to the 1950s in music, right through to... You still sing sometimes today. Have you been fortunate in your career that it was perhaps when you were a singer, the pressure wasn't the same as for singers today?
It was more or less the same.
More or less the same.
Yes, but it was more, the underground was better, you know. Today, the people, when they sing quite good, they are on top. But they need the 10 years or 12 years or 15 years to grow up in a smaller house, in a greater house, and then in Bayreuth or Berlin or whatever. That is missing today, you know. So they start, and mostly when they sing 3-4 years, then they have some difficulties, and then the nerves doesn't do the right things, you know. So that is a point. And when you grow up in all these little houses, you had these problems more than one time, but you know what you do to get your nerves better in shape for the next performance. But if you don't have the opportunity to try it out, then you don't have it.
That was what I was saying when I said I think you've been a little bit fortunate because you could build a career quite slowly, step by step.
Absolutely. I'm singing over 40 years now.
Exactly. You know? René Kollo, let's go back to your early days. We saw in that report that you come from a musical family.
Yeah.
How important was that for you?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No. We didn't make any music at home because my father was in this music business and wanted to have his privacy and his quiet time when he came home, you know. So when I started to play a little bit piano, woof.
But and in your early days, again, we saw in the report, you got into a Dixie band. You were playing sort of popular music, but all the time you were thinking of Wagner, yeah?
Yes, but I never thought that I ever could do it, could sing Wagner.
So what happened?
No, I started 65 in Braunschweig with little roles and it built a little bit up. After 2 years, I was in Düsseldorf, and then 65 I started. In 68 I sang in Bayreuth for and 69 I sang already in Bayreuth, the Steuermann in Dutchman, Flying Dutchman, and then it built it's up. I don't know why. I never thought that I can sing a big part of Wagner, you know. But after 2, 3, 4 years, yes. Okay.
I mean, your really successful phase with Wagner was your first phase when you were in Bayreuth. That was in the early 70s, going through for about a decade after that. And then you became more popular around the world. People you were appearing on the stages of the world. Let's just have a look at a little clip from that we have here of one of those performances. I think it's from Verona. Here we go.
Mein Vater, Parsival, trägt eine Krone. Seiner Ritter ich in Lohengrin genannt.
Now that is obviously a relatively short extract from an opera. Tell us, a lot of people when they hear about Wagner, they're interested in just how difficult it is to play some of the roles that you have played. Tell me.
It is a question of training.
A question of training.
Yes, but when I talked years ago to Helden tenors, you know, then they said me always, a Helden tenor is not good in the first act, he is better in the second act, and he is fantastic in the third act. And that was always my kind of singing. I had always a little bit problems when I come for a concert or the first act or so. In the end, I could sing it again.
And when you
was
play,
so warmed up, then...
that's amazing. I mean, because some of these roles, they're 4, 5 hours. It could be 5 hours.
Yes.
How long does it take to learn a role like that?
I learned very fast. Sometimes too fast to forget it. Easier. No, I had for a Siegfried or what, I don't know, 2 months.
And how important is the acting in this? These days, a lot of people say to me, acting now in opera is more important than it was in the old days. How important was it for you?
No. When you had the colors and when you had all these wonderful actors singing before, it's not now. Now they run from left to right, and then they think this is acting. No. You have. I had a privilege because I was acting before, you know, and I wanted to become an actor for the great acting stages, you know. So when I hear music and I see the words, then the words make the music for me, you know, and I make the music in the words. That is the same as Callas and all these wonderful people did, you know, that you feel the words and you play with the words, you know. And okay, that is not for everybody, but I think this is the most what you can do in opera, to play and to sing but both together, you know, not only to sing. No?
Okay. And one of the places where René Kollo played and sang so greatly, to such great acclaim, was Bayreuth. And each and every year, the great and the good here in Germany and internationally, they join the annual pilgrimage to the Bayreuth Festival, all to pay homage to the operatic art of Richard Wagner. Now, tickets are expensive, the seats are uncomfortable, and ordinary folks might have to wait years to get hold of one. Nevertheless, there's undoubtedly something almost mythical about Bayreuth and all that it stands for.
Time to roll out the red carpet for opening night of the Bayreuth Festival. For politicians, celebrities and socialites, it's a must-attend event. Officially, of course, this festival, founded by Richard Wagner in 1876, is about appreciating high culture. Bayreuth. Every year it's a major media event that draws hundreds of photographers and journalists. Whether the audience is here to pay homage to high art or to see and be seen, it's not always entirely clear. But many consider the aura of glamour part and parcel of the event.
Getting a ticket for the theatre on the Green Hill is a major coup. That's why they're so coveted. Of course, there are people who are given tickets as a matter of course. But it's an important aspect of the mystique. A ticket like this is quite a status symbol.
Bayreuth sociologist Arnold Zingerle has studied the festival audience. He knows true Wagner fans are not there for the media circus.
Much of the Bayreuth mystique has to do with exclusivity. We've studied it. The top factor is the quality of the music. We've got a selection of the world's best Wagner singers and directors. Another crucial point is the marvelous, unusually fine acoustics in the festival hall. You won't find that anywhere else.
Das finden Sie so nicht mehr wieder.
The mystique also has to do with the presence of the Wagner family itself. The festival board appointed Katharina Wagner and her half-sister Eva Wagner-Pasquier joint directors in 2008. They're both great-granddaughters of the composer. Tickets run from 8 to 280 euros and are hard to come by. Mere mortals may have to wait up to 10 years to get them, but for die-hard Wagner fans, it's well worth it. Nothing compares to Bayreuth.
I'm chuckling a little bit here because I was just asking René Kollo whether he still goes to Bayreuth, and he says, yes, I go down to Bayreuth for the beer, to meet old friends and to have a glass of beer. But let's talk about the cult of Bayreuth. Yeah? You yourself have said that there is something about Bayreuth that is almost religious. What's that all about?
No. No, it's not religious. It's I don't have the right word in English. You know, when I stepped the first time on the stage and I know who was singing there, you know, Melchior, Lorenz, Flagstad, was weiß ich, who was conducting Richard Strauss, Furtwängler, names and gods, you know. And I said to myself, my God, how can I go on this on this holy place, you know? But it's not holy in religious meaning. No. That's not. But I mean, one man built this thing up under great pressure, was tingling around the world, give concerts for Bayreuth to get the money. Next to this, he wrote the Götterdämmerung, you know, and unbelievable. So this is it's not a normal thing. It's absolutely
tradition. It's a huge sense of history and tradition.
Now it's a history tradition, but that somebody really do it and build it up, and it's a wonderful acoustic, the best acoustic in the world.
Okay,
and
so
you don't see a conductor, you don't see an orchestra, nothing.
Yeah. There's lots of tradition, there's lots of history, and it's a technical wonder as well in many ways. What about the audience? Because as we've seen in that report, there are an awful lot of people who go there to see and to be seen. Are they a good audience?
Yeah, no, this is a premiere, you know. The premiere is it's a great show, you know, for politics and for a lot of people. But after the, let's say from the second and third show on, it's quite normal people, you know. And this is only the beginning, only the 25th of July. And this is a great show, okay. Yeah. But you have that in Salzburg, you have that in Wien, you have that in Berlin, in Munich, London, wherever.
Okay.
It's not so, let them go, you know.
And here I am chuckling again because we've just been talking about all sorts of things while watching that report. But let's talk about the palace in Berlin. It was destroyed in the Second World War, partially destroyed. And then...
It was really destroyed from yes, Ulbricht, no?
In 1950. Because
yes.
they thought it was a symbol of Prussian
It's a symbol
monarchy.
Yeah?
OK, and now it's rebuilt.
Yeah.
There's been a big discussion. Some have said, no, we don't want it. Many have said, yes. You're in the yes camp. Why?
Why? I think when this castle is built again, the middle of Berlin is one of the most exciting middle of all cities. For me, you know. Yeah. I love Paris. I love London. All these cities has these old. How can I say that? These old buildings and the culture of these old times, you know. Yeah. And that was not a bad culture. And when the castle is again, I thought to myself, because I'm not so young anymore, hopefully I see it when it's ready. And now I hear
it's
that
getting
it comes
nearer now.
in the time. Yes,
exactly.
No, wonderful. It's so beautiful, architecturally, you know. Yeah, wonderful.
Okay. And it was right in the heart of the city. You would come up the main boulevard in Berlin, Unter den Linden, and there it would be, the palace at the end of the boulevard. This is one of the big arguments, that it fits. It should be there. Does it fit to Germany? You just said that there were that the old times were not necessarily bad times, that they were good times in many ways. Germany is now a republic. Yeah? Why should we rebuild a palace for the monarchy?
Because it's not the question of the monarchy, it's not a question of the republic, it's a question of architecture. You know, to have these wonderful picture, this with a great Luft, wie soll man sagen, air. It's not so, you know. It has a great.
It's a magnificent building with a big aura.
Yes, and it's a wonderful thing. For me, it has nothing to do with the Hohenzollern. It has nothing to do with. We can talk a lot about that, but nothing to do with the new Germany. No, it is an architecture thing that you come and you see, my God, it's that beautiful, you know.
We're running out of time, and I want to ask you one more question before we begin to wind up, because this palace is being built in the city that you were born in. You were born in Berlin, yes. In all the years of your career on the stage in music, you've travelled around an awful lot, and you say of yourself that you are a restless spirit, that you are somebody who needs to move on. Yeah? You need to pack your suitcase very often. Is that the way you're going to stay, or are you going to find somewhere that you're going to stop now?
Yeah, you know that. I'm now in November 74.
Yeah.
So I will do that now the next 30 years.
Good. I like that.
And then we calm down a little bit, you know.
Okay. And in the programme, let's calm down with our Talking Germany quiz at the end of the programme. Quick questions, quick answers.
Yes.
Opera, is it elitist or democratic?
This is not democratic, no.
Bayreuth, is it show or substance?
It is now any more show, but it has a big substance.
René Kollo, are you a hero or an ordinary guy?
I'm a very shy, ordinary guy.
Lovely, but he's been a very good guest. If you've enjoyed his company as much as I have, René Kollo, then do come back next week. Until then, I'm going to say bye-bye and tschüss.